Well, I really wanted to start off this episode by singing with my beautiful voice a rousing, magnificent rendition of Go Cubs Go. Yet just an hour and a half ago, they shit the bed, and now they're tied 1-1 with the Padres. So maybe next week, kids. Maybe next week. But of course, baseball is still on the back burner because it's all about football, and it's all about the maestro Kevin Crane and the conquistador Dave Height at his Sports Frenzy 2.0 here, the first day of October 2025. Welcome aboard, kids.
Yep, we are here to regale you with more politically incorrect commentary on the sports world. And there's a lot going on. Ish.
Although I will say this.
Injury news.
I'm fairly proud of myself. I don't think I'm going off the rails this week when it comes to anything other than
the Cubs,
sports, and pop culture. No politics. Let's stay away from that this week. Just not even on the fringes.
I like it.
So, we might go on some rants and some tangents, do some deep dives on sports, and then on the weekend edition, pop culture, but that is it. It's actually been a fairly sane week in the world, so let's just hope that continues for a while. I know, government shutdown. I don't care.
It's been brewing, that's all we're going to say.
Yep. All right, so your Uncle Dave mentioned injuries. We'll get those. We'll work those in as we go through last week's games, and then, of course, move into this week's games in the NFL. But yes, he is correct. And I know we say this every fucking year, but damn, it seems like there are a lot of injuries early.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, we're talking season ending or 4 to 6 weeks type of injuries.
And we all know a lot of the reason why. They're not in game shape.
So, we'll travel back in time to last Thursday, September the 25th. This game I actually turned off because I thought with 6 minutes to go, 20-6 lead, the Seahawks had it under control. And then I wake up in the morning and I hear Seattle wins on a last-second field goal. Like, what? What the hell happened?
Crazy cuckoo.
But the Seahawks did beat the Cardinals. Seahawks moved to 3-1. Cardinals dropped to 2-2. I am still in no way, shape, or form sold on Kyler Murray.
No, not at all.
And of course, injury number one to talk about, because, of course, not only does it impact the Cardinals, but it impacts my fucking fantasy team, is that, of course, last week we talked about James Conner getting injured, out for the year. Now, they try to be really secretive and sneaky about it, and until this afternoon, nobody knew what the status of their backup running back, Trey Benson, was. Of course, I went out and I grabbed Trey Benson last week, thinking, all right, this guy will be gold, at least as an RB2 or a flex for the rest of the year.
Right, because they have to give the ball to somebody.
Nope. Torn meniscus. Out 4 to 6 weeks.
Ew.
I got 1 week out of him on my bench.
No. Ouch.
So now the Cardinals are down to their third string running back. And we will see what happens as we get closer to the trade deadline, because some of the bottom feeders you might see it Alvin Kamara. You might see a Tony Pollard. Even possibly a Breece Hall from the Jets on the market.
Potentially, you never know.
Because the running backs are thin. I mean thin.
It's super thin.
In this league right now. But somehow Christian McCaffrey's still healthy. No. The only healthy 49er.
Seriously, my God. Who had that on their bingo card?
Yeah. Yeah, and we've got the Thursday night game as a pick coming up, so well, wait till we get to that, kids.
Good Lord.
So then we started off Sunday, September the 28th, with the most glorious time of the year. No, it's not Christmas. It is when we have overseas football, so you can watch football from 9:30 in the morning until midnight every Sunday. This time, we were in Ireland to start things off.
Yep, and it looks like the Steelers got their Lucky Charms. They got the...
But they tried to blow this game,
They
too.
did. They tried to blow it, but held on to win 24-21 over the Vikings. Ugh.
Then we move on to the games in the afternoon.
The hell? How?
I don't understand
How?
the Falcons. The Falcons, one week look like world beaters, and the next week look like the most pathetic team on the face of the earth.
Are they... Should we start calling the Atlanta Sybil's?
I don't know.
Schizophrenic.
But
and
as you recall, last week when we made this pick, I said, I don't care if Jaden Daniels is the quarterback or Marcus Mariota. I don't care if Terry McLaurin's playing. They will win this game.
They 34-27. What happened to the Commanders' defense?
I'm beginning to wonder about their defense. I'm beginning to wonder.
It's looking a little suspect.
Because we saw a lot of things this week that make me question maybe everything I ever knew about football. By the way, going back to that Seahawks-Cardinals game, a couple minutes. Let's take a couple minutes and debate this. Because people are starting to point out that these new kickoff rules are doing two things. I don't know if you've heard this. Now, number one, in terms of stats, overall stats, and yes, that impacts fantasy football.
Yep.
The fact that these teams are starting with better field position more often than not is shrinking the amount of offense. You don't have to gain as many yards to score.
You are almost in field goal range after a decent return.
Right, and of course the key moment in this game at the end, after the Seahawks had blown that 20-6 lead that I mentioned, was the Cardinals kicked off and their kicker missed the landing zone. I think it bounced on the 21.
Yeah.
Which is a no-no. That gave Seattle the ball on the 40.
Yeah.
And all he had to do, Sam Darnold, all he had to do was hit Jackson Smith and Jigba on a 22-yard pass, field goal range. Win the game. People are starting to wonder about that, number one. And number two, now the kickers get their own special balls.
Again.
The K-balls. And
They're
now
able to manipulate them again.
Yes, and now we're seeing 55 and 60-yard field goals like they're nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's a chip shot.
We saw the kickers are getting better. Their legs are getting stronger.
Correct.
But they have the balls for, what was it? They got them 2 weeks before the regular season. And they're using the same ball throughout the season.
But they can manipulate it. They can do what they want with it.
They can do whatever they want with them again.
Yep. And so now we're seeing these long field goals are just nothing. It's a chip shot to them. It's like an extra point.
Yeah. 55-yarder.
Nothing. Yeah,
Easy.
they don't even, coaches aren't even hesitating anymore to send the kicker out on a 55-yard field goal.
Yeah, 60? Sure, we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, depending on the kicker.
Yeah, and the conditions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might see, you're right, we might see this settle down a little bit when we get to November and December. But for right now...
It's ridiculous.
So between those two things, we're seeing a lot more importance for the kickers and a lot less offense for the rest of the guys.
Yeah, because you don't have
You're playing on a shorter field. You're on a shorter field almost every time. Whereas in the old days, when I was a young lad...
Oh, kick it through the end zone, you start at the 20.
Now you kick it through the end zone, it's what, the 35?
Yeah. And now you're getting these guys
That's
returns.
15. That's automatically 15 yards of offense.
The
gone.
returns, if you don't hit the 30, you're an idiot as a returner.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
So
because you're getting the ball between the goal line and the 20 with a running start.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, the other team
else
has to wait.
Yeah, has to wait for you to catch it before they can go. And you're already at the 20 before they're moving.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
And so you're not meeting until about the 30, if you're lucky.
So again, this was just something I heard that made a lot of sense to me.
It's almost too much of an overcorrection to try and get the return game going.
And again, you're seeing a lot less yardage in total offense on these teams because they're getting better field position right off the bat every drive, at least in terms of kickoffs.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, again, don't know what to make of the Falcons, don't know what to make of the Commanders. Very bizarre that the Falcons are so schizophrenic.
It's scary.
Yep. Patriots took care of business. They're back to 2-2.
Yep.
They're another team, though. I don't know how good they are.
I know. Routing the Panthers, they have taken a step back. We thought maybe last year we were starting to see some momentum. They have gone the opposite way.
Yeah, you got to wonder if this could be the end for Bryce Young. Could be the end for Dave Canales. They've got to right the ship, and I think they've got to get it. Yeah. Just because of the fact you don't finish last because the Saints are so bad doesn't exonerate you.
Yeah. And the only reason the Saints are bad is because they're in salary cap hell.
Yep.
And we talked 15 years ago that they just kept pushing it back, that it was going to catch up to them. It has.
Yep. And we also said, why the hell would Kellen Moore take that job? I know, they always say, you got to take it. It's an NFL job. But he has no chance of success.
There's nothing to work with.
None.
So.
He would have been better off waiting another year.
Yep.
The Eagles somehow keep winning. I don't know how.
That felt like one that the Buccaneers let get away.
Eagles win in Tampa, 31-25. The Eagles jumped out to a big lead. Buccaneers came storming back. There is something, I don't care if they're 4-0. This feels almost like the Chiefs last year with the Eagles, where there's something wrong with this team.
They're
A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, there is no passing game
it's
right
just
now in this offense.
Run.
They, in the second half in this game against the Buccaneers, had a negative number for passing because of sacks. They literally are not throwing the ball at all.
That makes absolutely
and everybody's
no
looking
sense.
at A.J. Brown. Is he going to go off? Is he going to, start reading books on the sidelines again? But literally, you look at the numbers for what should be one of the best tandems in terms of wide receivers in the NFL, and they are non-existent.
It's just bad.
2 catches, 3 catches, 2 catches, 1 catch.
It's killing my fantasy team.
But they're 4-0. They are, and even Saquon Barkley's not putting up huge numbers.
No, it's all Hurts.
And they're playing well on special teams. The defense is solid.
That's all they need to do.
But again, we said this last year with the Chiefs. And up until last weekend, it had played out that football karma was going to
come back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's coming soon for the Eagles. Well, we told you so. I will say that here. We fucking told you so.
Yep. The Colts were not going to go undefeated.
And they were not going to go out to the West Coast and beat the Rams, a superior team.
Now it got a little touch and go for the Rams. They let Indy get out to a pretty decent lead, but then they corrected and took out the Colts 27-20.
When he is healthy, and young enough where he can correct this. And if he does stay healthy for the next couple years, Puka Nacua is unbelievable.
He runs a good route.
He could literally be the best wide receiver in the league right now. And I don't care. You throw Justin Jefferson at me, I know they've got extenuating circumstances in Cincinnati with Jamar Chase. Puka Nacua puts up ungodly numbers every week when he's healthy.
Yeah. Health is an issue.
Then we mentioned the Chiefs. Oh boy. Oh boy, did they come back.
Now, is this the Chiefs coming back, or is it more of an indictment that the Ravens just aren't the Ravens right now?
A little of both. I think it's a little of both. Because the Chiefs got Xavier Worthy back. He made an impact. They still don't have a running game.
No.
For nothing. But now, we could say that about, I think, honestly,
half the league.
I'd say 2/3 of the league.
They do
not have a legitimate running game right now. The Ravens don't. Derrick Henry's lost. He had those fumbles, and now he's doing nothing. And now, this coming week, he's going to have to deal with the defense keying on him because it's Cooper Rush. Because Lamar Jackson, your injuries.
Yep.
Your injuries. Lamar Jackson with a hamstring, looking like he's going to be out 2 to 3 weeks. So it's going to be
Henry.
Cooper Rush as quarterback. They are not going to let any decent team in the NFL is not going to let Derrick Henry beat them.
No. We're going to load the box and make Cooper Rush win the game.
Yeah. Boy, the Ravens could potentially be done for this year.
Who had that?
No, a lot of us, most of the panel, at least had the Ravens in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. And it's not looking good at all.
And then, by extension, does that mean this is the end for John Harbaugh? Now, I don't know if I would blame him for this year right now.
No, injuries are kind of taking a toll. You lose Lamar Jackson,
Derrick Henry. I mean, that's just so fluky for him to fumble 3 weeks in a row.
Or is Father Time catching up to him now?
I did not like the fact they gave him an extension.
No.
You're walking a tightrope when it comes to running backs hitting their 30s. And to give him more money, he's a Hall of Famer. Don't get me wrong.
But he's on the downside of his career.
Yep.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Well, you felt better, I think, about the Bears this past weekend than I did. The Bears somehow, some way, end up beating the Raiders in Las Vegas 25-24. Now, what I will take credit for is when we made these picks, what did I say about Geno Smith? I said if we get the 2-touchdown, 3-pick, Geno Smith will win. And guess what we got out of Geno Smith?
2 touchdowns and 3 picks.
Yep. Now, the Bears made it a little bit closer than I thought it would be.
The Bears could not get the running game going at all.
Because who showed up? The rookie.
Yep.
The rookie finally
Austin
showed up.
Gentry showed up big. 2 receiving touchdowns and a huge rushing touchdown.
Yep.
But that Bears offense, as good as it looked against Dallas, was miserable.
So inconsistent. So inconsistent.
The first half was trash. Slight adjustments in the second half. But still, just lots of things to correct in the bye week.
Now, we already talked about the Colts, but I would like to point something out. Because I'm going to do it every fucking week. They drafted the wrong tight end. Are you seeing what Tyler Warren is doing in Indianapolis?
Yes.
And I saw Cole Kmet making more catches this past weekend than Colston Loveland.
Loveland is injured. Still, he was hurt coming into training camp.
Well, we knew that, yeah.
And he's out again.
Great job. Why don't we give Poles another extension?
Why didn't we get a running back in that spot?
Cam Scadaboo had another great week, by the way. Just keep that in mind. And now I see this week, granted this is the first week in fantasy football where you got teams on byes, which thins the herd a little bit. Cam Scatterbo on ESPN, top 10 running back this week. 4th round pick.
Yep. And who did we get in, what was it, the 6th round? Manangai? Another undersized back.
Who's done nothing.
We needed a big bruiser, and we didn't get him.
Nope.
And that's what we needed against the Raiders.
Again, don't take this the wrong way, but, well, take it how you want to. This season just feels so much like last season right now. It's scaring the hell out of me. Because they're barely winning the games they're winning. I know they blew Dallas out. But they let the Vikings game slip through their fingers. And now we get an early bye. Any kind of momentum we had is gone.
I don't know if you can really call this a momentum game.
Well, but you had carryover from the week before. You were 2-0. You had 2 straight wins.
But there was so much wrong in this.
Yes, I agree with that.
And this is a chance to correct it before it tailspun any further.
And by the way, yes, this is going to lead into a rant of mine. Again, this is going to be a very bizarre episode because, believe it or not, for the second week in a row, I don't have any dumbasses.
Wow.
Just couldn't find any that fit the bill. My last call, however, will piss you off, so I can't wait for that. But my rant, personal experience over this entire week, including the infamous, what they're calling the infamous halftime interview.
Oh, God.
With Ben Johnson and the woman who I cannot even pronounce her goddamn name.
Why do they have to do these stupid-ass interviews to begin with?
I don't have a problem with his response.
No.
Because she did not ask a question.
No,
she made a statement.
She made a statement. And, of course, it sounded like a statement. Saying, you've got corrections to make. And, of course, gee, you think so?
Yeah.
That would have been that was what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I have no issue at all with how Ben Johnson responded.
And he has to apologize. Because, I didn't handle that the right way. No, because
you
PC
were fine
police,
because the stupid-ass snowflakes all over social media think you handled it poorly.
He's a woman hater. This is my problem. People. This is my problem. This is my rant. I'm done with women doing football. I'm done with women doing football. I'm done with it.
Why do we have to have sideline reporters anyway? Why do we have to have these stupid-ass pre- and post-halftime interviews? It's stupid. It's pointless.
Let them go and deal with their team. Let them do their jobs. No, we have to have media access.
No,
fuck
we don't
media
need
access.
Media access. My
it's too
God.
much. It's too much.
There's so much going on. They're not thinking clearly to be interviewed in that moment.
They're in the game. They're either getting ready, getting geared up for the second half, or just coming down off all the emotions they've dealt with in the first half.
Yeah, he's running into the locker room trying to think, how am I going to correct what needs to be corrected? And coming back, all right, I've got to make sure we're set on these pieces. Stay the hell out of their way.
But I've got more than this. It's not just this Ben Johnson thing. This is just a nice little segue. I was stuck with nothing to watch on Sunday until the race. So 1 to 3, I had nothing. We were stuck here where we are, outside the Sports Frenzy studios in the upper Midwest. I had to watch the Titans and the Texans, which, of course...
Yeah, I was doing my weekly races on GT7 during that span.
Yeah, you are a smarter man than me. Because I I was doing other things, of course, but female play-by-play announcer doing the game. And then on top of that, not only did I have, I think her name's Beth Mowens, and this is not an indictment of whether she's good or not, I don't want to hear a woman talking to me about football. It does not appeal to me. It's not natural. I'm sorry, it's not. And if the women want to get rid of all the men in the WNBA, I'm fine with that too.
Yeah.
But I had to deal with her along the meathead Ross Tucker, the Neanderthal, who somehow every year gets some kind of contract with some network. You listen to him, you think you're listening to the reincarnation of Fred fucking Flintstone. And this is the only option I had until the Kansas race started at 3 o'clock.
Oh, I'm so
I'm
glad
just
I did
done
not subject
and
myself.
over with women doing football. I don't care if it's sideline reporting. I don't care if it's play-by-play. It's obvious, blatant, PC, snowflake bullshit. Nobody wants it, just like nobody wants Lee Diffie doing NASCAR. Who are the idiots in the front offices of these companies deciding these things?
This is a great idea.
I don't want it anymore. I don't want to hear a woman talk about football.
But we're trying to grow the brand to the female audience.
No.
I'm telling you what the reasoning is.
No, I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying that just...
In general, just stop.
To the sports gods.
And I know it's right up there with playing football overseas.
Yeah.
As much as we like the morning to night, no.
Yeah, and this isn't the limit. They keep sneaking in an extra game or two every year.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be every week.
And then...
They're going to fuck it all up.
And then they're going to sell the Super Bowl overseas. 3 years. I'm telling you, 3 years. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the Super Bowl. And
streaming only.
Let's see how the fans react to that. Because
only.
At some point in time, we're going to have to react. We're going to have to say enough is enough with this garbage.
Go after Goodell with the torches and pitchforks now.
And technically, let's stick with this. Technically, we should go after him now for letting Jay-Z go.
What the fuck are we getting Bad Damn Bunny for the halftime show?
Have you read the background of one Bad Bunny?
No, I do not subject myself to that crap.
No, I'm not talking about listening to the music. I have just read the background on the guy. Because, of course, now people are starting to delve into his history. One person said, do not be surprised. And when I say people, I'm talking about legitimate sports news sources, not people on X. I'm talking about legitimate reporters. Do not be surprised if he comes out in a dress. He's been known to do this kind of crap. He's been known to make out with his male background dancers during these performances. Do not be surprised if any of this happens.
Well, there you go.
That's Roger Goodell for you. Another guy I tried to stick up for years and years ago, and he just kept eroding my confidence and my faith to the point now where he's a fucktard like the rest of the commissioners.
And what did I fucking tell you way back when?
Yep.
I was ahead of the curve on this one.
Yep, you were. I admit it. And he is going to single-handedly... Only a stupid business person is handed a cash cow and does everything possible to destroy it. And God knows we've seen it happen in the past with whatever, movie companies, retail companies.
NASCAR's in the middle of it right now.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that. All right, kids, sorry. Sorry for the diversion. Back to wrapping up last week's games.
And then Sunday night's pathetic football uselessness, futility. Football futility.
A tie! Woo! And the game went on for 4 hours, dude.
Oh my God.
It was on until quarter after midnight. It was into Monday morning.
It was the first half. I watched most of the first half, and it was pathetic. Absolutely pathetic from both teams. I'm like, I can't watch this trash.
Yep, 40-40, and overtime might have been worse because each team got the ball once, and they kind of meandered about and got in range, kicked the field goal, and then of course, by the way, I know I'm a Bears fan, and so I have an innate hatred for the Packers. Matt LaFleur's a piece of shit coach. He's awful.
Yeah.
He's a little bitch. You talk about Ben Johnson getting called out for being a little temperamental on the halftime. Did you hear Matt LaFleur? My God.
No,
he was
did not.
Biting the halftime reporter's head off.
Ooh. Then why didn't he get shit?
Because they got to pick on the Bears. Green Bay's off limits.
Fuck Green Bay.
Yeah. They look so awesome those first 2 games, and all of a sudden they're 2-1-1. They've lost to the Cleveland Browns, and they have tied the pathetic Dallas Cowboys. So maybe they're not the lock for the NFC Championship game we thought they were. Actually, right now the NFC is looking wide open.
Yeah,
and I
it's open for
dare
anybody.
I say the Detroit Lions might be the best team right now, again, in the NFC. But yeah, we got our first tie, kids. Woohoo! Golf clap! Golf clap! Yay! And you know damn well, somehow, some way, this is going to come into play when we get to the end of the year. And this is going to probably get the Packers some kind of a higher seed because instead of a loss, they got a tie. Yeah. Then, of course, this past Monday, the 29th.
The doubleheader.
The pathetic, awful, terrible doubleheader. But then we bring in the injuries again with the first game. Oh, my God,
Tyreek Hill dislocating his knee and tearing damn near every ligament in there.
Yep.
Ooh, that was ugly.
Yeah, Tyreek's done for the year, and some people, I'm not going to be one of these speculators, but some people are saying he seemed like he was pretty damn happy on that cart that his season was over.
Yeah. Yeah, he did not seem all that broken up.
Yeah, waving, kind of like a prom queen or, the Dairy Queen at the parade.
We all know the boy's not right.
Well, he ain't going to be playing this year for the Dolphins, and I think he's done with the Dolphins. I think that's it.
I think it's a mutual thing.
Yep. Now, despite the fact that they lost Tyreek Hill and they were outgained by about 100 yards,
Jesus,
the Dolphins somehow held on to win at Hard Rock Stadium 27-21. The Jets, of course, jetted all over themselves, fumbling the ball on the half-yard line as you're diving into the end zone to score a touchdown.
Not good.
I don't think the future looks very bright for either one of these teams.
No. This was one of those somebody has to lose.
Yeah.
Or somebody has to win.
Yep. And then the late game, now we officially know
the Bengals are toast.
Yeah, without Joe Burrow, they are done. The Broncos, nothing. I think, played at about 3/4 speed in this game and still won 28-3 without really any resistance whatsoever.
No, none at all.
Yeah.
So,
and of course, reading into these scores, you could say that the door is wide open for an easy Pittsburgh Steelers AFC North title, clinched by possibly late November. The way things are going. The way things are going.
The way it looks.
We do have a couple.
Almost by default.
Yep, we got a couple other injuries to discuss. We're going to get to those here as we get into the games for next week, but we do have a couple other headlines to get into. interesting confrontation this past weekend between the Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen and the 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh. Because I guess Liam Cohen did not like the fact that Saleh had intimated earlier in the week that Cohen was signal stealing. So after the Jaguars beat the 49ers, Cohen went over to Saleh and basically did the whole Will Smith thing. Keep your name out my mouth! And then Saleh was like, oh, anytime, anywhere, you know.
Yeah, Saleh,
being
the big,
tough
guy. You know, Saleh, if you were that worried about sign stealing, why didn't you change the fucking signs?
Well, and of course, a lot of people made a very salient point.
Isn't that the whole point?
We've got the helmet communication.
Yeah. So why are you even worried about signs? Everything is through the mics.
Yeah, the quarterback gets the plays from the head coach or the offensive coordinator.
Do they have a Russian hacker working for them?
Yeah. And of course, Saleh had to backtrack. I didn't mean anything by that. I didn't. I wasn't implying anything.
Then shut your damn mouth.
Gotta admit, Mr. Duval, showing some balls there.
I know,
going
I liked
after
it.
Saleh, yeah, like it. And then going back to the game in Ireland, the Vikings and the Steelers, we've got a mystery, Dave. You and I are always up for a good mystery. You and I always
fire up the mystery machine.
Think that in another life, you and I could be like Cleet and Dave or Hawk and Spencer. We could be master detectives.
Sleuths.
Yep. Was Pittsburgh backup quarterback Skylar Thompson actually assaulted and robbed in Dublin like he claims? Because the police are saying we never got any kind of formal complaint. We didn't have any charges filed, and the Steelers are being very quiet about this.
Gee. Me thinks that he had a prostitute meetup gone awry.
See, I was gonna say methinks the boy had a few too many Guinness and picked the fight with the wrong group of gingers. And he just got his ass handed to him. And he was too embarrassed to say that and said, I was mugged, I was robbed.
That's a good one, but I think it's the
you still
think the prostitute gone wrong.
You're gonna go with the prostitute?
He tried to stiff her.
Oh. Well, now you got me thinking, what would an Irish prostitute look like? Ooh. The Irish aren't really particularly known for attractive women.
But you get the right redhead with the green eyes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The alabaster skin.
Yeah, I'm not into the alabaster skin so much. But yeah, the green eyes. Vexing. Green eyes are vexing. And like you said, with the really, like the bright auburn hair, yeah, you're right. That's good. I like that.
See, we paint a picture for you,
yes.
Kids.
All right, so now we move on to this week's games, which is where we're going to work in all the rest of our headlines and injury news. And we will start off, of course, with the MASH unit that is the San Francisco 49ers for NFL Week 5.
The walking wounded.
Starting Thursday night, October the 2nd. We're recording again here on the 1st. The episode will drop early Thursday morning. And none of us are fooled. 7 of our 8 panelists have their picks in for this game. We've all done our homework. We've all done our research. The lines have increased dramatically with the news that Brock Purdy is out. Ricky Pearsall is out. Jawan Jennings is out. And Kittle is still out.
Yeah. Basically, you have Christian McCaffrey.
And Mac Jones. Rams
across the board.
Yeah. That's not even fun. And the sad thing is, if the 49ers were healthy, this would be a goddamn fantastic Thursday night game.
It would be a great matchup.
But now it's just going to be a disaster.
Thursday night games are cursed to be abysmally bad.
Yeah. Yep. So then we move on to Sunday, October the 5th. Yes, again.
Another morning.
9:30 to midnight.
The Vikings, once again, from London, playing the Browns.
Big news with Cleveland is now they are in desperation mode. I still think Kevin Stefanski will be on the market next year, and somebody will scoop him up.
Maybe the Dolphins?
Because I'm telling you, they're throwing monkey shit at the wall, hoping it sticks.
Yeah.
Because now we're going with Dylan Gabriel.
Because Flacco looks so bad.
And of course they're making a big Shedeur Sanders not saying anything.
He's gone in mime mode, as everybody's saying.
Well, let's say this about Mr. Shedeur Sanders. The story that came out last week about how he was contacted during the draft by the Baltimore Ravens and said, "We'd like to draft you." And he said, "No, thank you. I don't want to sit behind Lamar Jackson." He could be starting this week for the Baltimore Ravens.
But no, he was an idiot.
Runs in the family. Sorry. You know how I feel about Dion.
No, I know.
This isn't even going to be close. And I can't believe the point spread as I set this up was only 3.5.
I mean, my God, the Vikings have stayed over there.
Yeah. Yep, they've moved from Ireland just over to London.
Yeah, they stayed there. They're acclimated.
Yep. And as much as I am not a fan of Carson Wentz, he's not bad.
No, he's playing within himself.
Dylan Gabriel's going to be going up against the blitz-happy Brian Flores defense.
Flores is licking his chops at the opportunity to pummel this rookie into oblivion.
Prediction. Now, I'm not a betting man. You know this. If you have a betting problem, gambling problem, seek help. I would be shocked if the Browns get 150 yards of total offense in this game. Honestly. Yeah. Honestly. I don't see it. I think the Vikings are going to be mad. Like you said, they've already acclimated themselves to being overseas. They're mad about last week's game. They are going to take it out on the Cleveland. Now, the one thing is, when I say that the Browns probably not even going to get 150 yards of total offense.
It's all going to be on the ground.
Well, and the Vikings probably won't do much better because of that awesome Cleveland defense. But this
is going to be a slobber knocker.
I still figure it could be a 20-3, 21-6 type game. Vikings win easily.
Yeah, Vikings across the board for our panelists.
Well, I couldn't sing Go Cubs Go for you guys, but I can sing Island Boy. Because I am on an island. I can't believe it. I thought somebody would jump over the cliff here with me.
I almost did, but I couldn't quite do it.
Keep in mind, I should put this out there right now for the kids. This was about, between college and the pros, this was about the worst week of games I've ever seen.
Oh, it's pathetically bad.
There's a couple
intriguing
decent college games, maybe one pro game, and that's about it. This is not it.
No.
The lowly Giants going to New Orleans to play the lowly Saints. I am taking the Saints to win possibly their only game of the season. Jackson Dart is dinged up. Here's your injury update again. Malik Neighbors, number 1 receiver, torn ACL, done for the year. Now, they do have Cam Scattaboo, who I love. Love my Cam Scattaboo. Wish he was on the Bears. The Saints have got to win one game this year. And it's got to be now before they trade Alvin Kamara. It's got to be now. It's got to be here. It's got to be right here, right now. The Saints beat the Giants, and they're favored by a point and a half.
Well, you get 3 for playing at home.
I don't need you to remind me of that, Dave, okay?
I just couldn't go with the Saints. Ugh.
Telling me? You're telling me that Spencer Rattler doesn't instill confidence in you?
No, he does not. He never, even when he was in college, I thought he was overhyped.
I don't know what Jackson Dart is going to do without his number one receiver, and he couldn't throw the ball at all. All he did was run. It was him and Scadaboo running the ball.
Then why not? Let it run.
The Giants' defense worries me because they're not bad.
They're decent, and I'm sorry. I don't know how Spencer Rattler even got drafted into the NFL. He has no business being there.
I'm going to stick with this. I'm still feeling okay about it. I'm on an island. I will take the Saints. Everybody else goes with the Giants.
Oh, boy.
Now, you and I on this one, though.
You, me, and Doug.
Yeah.
I felt good when it was us until I saw
Doug's not doing bad.
No, Doug's doing okay.
He's not doing bad with his picks.
You, me, and Doug. Jets, Jets.
Cowboys
at home against the Cowboys.
Cowboys at MetLife Stadium to play the Jets. Of course, Cowboys for Sam, Bill, Nick, and Aaron. 7 of our 8 picks in. Simple logic. Number one.
How are the Cowboys favored?
Yeah, and the Jets have played a lot of good teams very close.
Yeah.
They should have beat the Steelers. They should have beat the Buccaneers. They played the Dolphins. I know the Dolphins are not a good team, but they should have won that game, too.
Yeah, their defense let them down.
Justin Fields is back. Looks like he's healthy. Breece Hall is now the de facto number 1 running back with Braylon Allen out, so no committee there.
Yeah.
You've still got Garrett Wilson. I know. We've been talking about the Jets for years. Talent. Never shows up, never comes through. Let me just give you one statistic. Despite how terrible a franchise the Jets have been, no Jets head coach has ever started his career 0-5.
Bingo.
Aaron Glenn will not be the first.
No, and Aaron Glenn just ripped the shit out of his team. There's accountability to be held.
And I'm with you. How the hell are the Cowboys favored in this game? What have we seen from the Cowboys defense that would lead you to believe?
Absolutely nothing.
That would lead you to believe Justin Fields will probably run for 100 and throw for 200.
Yeah, easily.
Yep, I'm with you. Again, just like my logic with the Saints, Jets got to win sometime.
Yep, they are not going to go 0-5, especially against the Cowboys.
Nope.
With that trash Cowboys team, they're at home for the love of all that's holy.
Yep. This one shocks me. And people might go, why, Maestro? The Broncos at the Eagles. We've all got Eagles across the board.
This was not an easy pick.
I already stated my case when we talked about last week's game. The Eagles, there's something wrong with this team, especially the offense. And now you've got a solid, very, very solid Bronco. If this was in Denver, I would have taken the Broncos.
Yeah, amen.
That's the only thing is
at
Bo
home.
Nix going to be able... He had a great game last week, but again, that was the Bengals.
You're on the road in Philly.
Possibly,
is he ready for that environment?
Possibly the most hostile environment in the NFL. I think we're all taking Eagles. I think it's coming. The Eagles are going to stumble here at some point.
They are. I just don't know that I don't think it's this week. I thought it was last week.
Yeah, with the Bucks. And it pains me to think the Broncos will drop to 2-3 because I think they're better than that. But they've had a brutal schedule so far.
Yeah. They've weathered it fairly
well. And the Eagles,
well.
by the way, have had a brutal schedule so far.
Yeah, it has not been easy for them.
No.
All right.
You and I again. Actually, we've got more people on our side this time around, though.
Dolphins at the Panthers. Now, we just talked about how pathetic the Panthers are. Miami trying to adjust without Hill. On the road, I don't have any faith in Miami on the road.
No, not even against the Panthers. The Panthers have looked bad, except the one game they've played at home, they look tremendous.
Yeah. So, you, me, Bill, and Aaron are taking the Panthers. Sam, Nick, and Doug going with the Dolphins.
Yep. This shocks me. You shocked me on this one.
I almost went with the Seahawks.
Now, this is the one. The Broncos-Eagles, great game. This one's a great game, too. Buccaneers going to the Pacific Northwest to take on the 12th man and the Seattle Seahawks.
There's something that I just not all in on Seattle.
And I understand that.
Sam
Darnold is not looking at any receiver other than Jackson Smith and Jigba. At some point, he's going to have to get Cooper Kupp involved or anybody else. But they've still got that dynamic duo of running backs with Charbonnet and Walker. The Buccaneers, Bucky Irving is dinged up. Still don't have Mike Evans. They're working Chris Godwin back in.
Yep.
I don't like this one for the Bucs.
This is one of those weird feeling games.
Well, most of you guys are taking the Buccaneers because only Bill and I are taking Seattle. You and Sam, Nick, Doug, and Aaron all taking the Buccaneers.
Well, like I said in my email when I sent my picks in, good week last week, here's to a bad week.
It'll all even out.
It always does.
But that week that you mentioned last week, every once in a while we get those, and that's what shifts the standings.
Which makes it fun.
Yep. Yeah, that was nice to finally see in one of our contests a radical shift in 1 week.
Yeah.
See the standings move like that.
Just womp.
For you kids out there, we do our football picks, of course, posted on our Facebook page every Thursday night. Last week, Bill and Nick were on the top of the mountain, and they both had shaky weeks at best. Dave and Sam, the elder statesman, charged to the front. Now they're in the lead.
So it'll shift around. We'll see.
I think you had, a 9-1 week in college? Yes.
Yeah.
You had I can't pick college to save my fucking life. 9-1. Congratulations. Awesome job. Awesome job. And you kicked my ass in fantasy football.
Thank you, Ashton Jetty.
So I guess I should say this week I am Dave's bitch.
All right.
But again, just want to stick with this game for a second. I am, of course, a Buccaneers fan. So, and I will say this again, the Buccaneers have had a bitch of a schedule to start the season as well.
They've made it close. They've been in every game.
At some point, this is going to start letting up for them because they're going to have to play the Panthers. They're going to have to play the Saints. So as long as they can tread water for a while, I think they'll be okay.
They can remain stable.
Yep. But I'm with you. The Seahawks, I'm not sure what they are yet, but I do like they're a well-rounded team.
Yeah.
Again, if Sam Darnold can start locking in to his secondary looks on receivers.
Hit a second, third receiver. Gee, maybe look to the tight end.
I noticed they do not throw to the running backs at all.
No. Why?
I don't know.
Crazy stuff.
this is another one that shocks me in terms of our picks. The Commanders at the Chargers, and I'll tell you why. Now, first up, Nick is going with Washington. The rest of us go with the Chargers.
Yep, he's on Washington Island.
But here's the thing. Jaden Daniels is going to play. So they get him back. Washington does. Now, they still don't have a running game at all.
No.
They could literally have the worst running game in the NFL.
I don't like their defense.
And you don't know if Terry McLaurin's going to be back. But the problem is with the Chargers here, because I think we're overlooking, and I took the Chargers, we're overlooking the fact that this team is decimated on the offensive line. I mean, decimated. They are 3/5 down on their offensive line right now. They lost one guy at the beginning of the season. Joe Alt is now going to be out, plus another. Omarion Hampton is doing great as a rookie running back, finally, along with Genty. These kids are finally starting to figure it out.
Starting to find their way.
You got the 3 solid receivers, although Lad McConkey can suck my fucking balls. I knew he was no good when I drafted him. Oh, no, he's really good, Kev. You shouldn't feel bad about that.
No, you should be quoting Soldier Boy, that he can gargle your ball sack.
He's Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnson miles ahead of him.
Yeah, McConkey is a disappointment.
In terms of who Herbert's looking for. But the problem is now, can this line block for Hampton? Can this line protect Justin Herbert? And they just lost to the lowly Giants. So
the Giants, I think the Giants have a better defense than the Commanders do.
I took the Chargers. That's all I'm saying. I think this is going to be a very close game
It's
and a very ugly game. A very ugly game.
Yeah. This is going to be an ugly game in a whole nother way.
I don't think it's going to be ugly. I don't think so. The Sunday night game, the Patriots going in to Orchard Park to play the Bills. Yes, Bills across the board.
Patriots are
iffy
on the road.
This is the only challenge that the Bills have got in their division right now. And I was talking about how it's potentially possible that the Steelers could lock up the AFC North by late November.
The Bills could lock it up by the end of October.
Yeah. Before Halloween, for the love of God. And this game, I think, will only further that. Again, the Patriots are the only tepid challenger they've got in that division.
Yeah, because they have a head coach.
But still, the Bills right now are the class of the AFC. Could be the class of the NFL. So, again,
looking pretty good.
Yep, Bills across the board. And then Monday night, the 6th of October, the resurgent Kansas City Chiefs.
Going to Duval to play the Jaguars.
I hope this is a good game. I really do.
It would be nice, but Chiefs across the board.
Yeah, the healthier the Chiefs get, the worse it gets for the rest of the league.
Yeah.
And I'm still not sold on Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, God, no.
So, all right, that's going to do it for the NFL. So it's time to blow through college football, of course. We're not going to go through every pick from last week. We'll just hit the highlights for NCAA football week 5. Started off on Friday night, September the 26th. Yes, I followed the wisdom of my best friend, my brother from another mother. He said to me, do not doubt Arizona State, and I did. This time around, I did not, and it paid off very well for us.
Yep, 27-24 over TCU.
TCU jumped out to a sizable lead, and I was like, oh, shit.
But no.
Easy State clawed back into it. And as I mentioned, kids, remember, as we go through these, your Uncle Dave was 9-1 with these picks last week. This is one he got right that I screwed up, although it was a last-minute thing. USC had the lead and let it go at the last minute. Number 23 at the time, Illinois, beating number 21 USC in Champaign.
Yep.
By the way, the
before
reunion.
Mrs. C got her pick in, I was Illinois Island.
By the way, REO Speedwagon reunion at that game. Did you hear that?
No, I did
Kevin
not.
Cronin back with the other 3 surviving members for Illinois homecoming week.
Really?
Yes.
He must have done some serious kissing.
They all sounded very tentative about everything. You know, I think they reached out to him maybe, but it sounded like it was probably very awkward.
Oh, I'm sure.
They performed 3 songs at halftime with the marching band. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath for a full-on REO reunion anytime soon.
No.
But Illinois won, so maybe they inspired them.
You never know.
Or maybe USC is just trash. So much for the great Lincoln Riley.
Overrated. He never has a defense.
Notre Dame. Now, I know you're going to tout this. You're going to crow about this. Notre Dame goes into Arkansas, destroys Arkansas, 56-13. You're telling me they're back. Good thing Miami got them when they did.
I'm just saying that they're starting to look better on defense. They still have a way to go.
Well, Arkansas was so embarrassed by their performance, they fired the head coach, Sam Pittman, after the game. And then they let the interim tag fall on one Bobby Petrino. Now, can I ask you this? I'm not pretending that I know everything about everything. But my understanding, when it comes to a college football program, NFL, basketball, the NBA, baseball, Major League Baseball, when an interim coach or manager takes over, I thought they were very limited in what they could do. The front office would make any personnel decisions going forward until either the interim tag was removed or the interim coach was hired on as a full-time coach, right?
I didn't think so.
Well, obviously I'm wrong, because first thing Bobby Petrino did was fire 3 defensive coaches, including the defensive coordinator. I didn't think an interim coach could do stuff like that.
I have no idea.
I thought an interim coach's powers were limited. So either, to me, something's going on here. They're going to hire Petrino back full time.
Oh, God.
Hopefully does not ride on a motorcycle with any co-eds.
His teaching assistant?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they've already planned on that's the only thing I can think of here. To let him do this, they plan on hiring him in full time.
It seems that way.
So Notre Dame is back, kids.
Ish. We'll see. Here we go. Mississippi takes number 13 Mississippi I can't talking a kid. They took out number 4 LSU 24-19.
See, I know what you're trying to do there. You were trying to do the fake Cajun accent like Brian Kelly. I appreciate that. Trying to add some levity to the situation.
Yes, I was. But alas, it did not come off well.
But Lane Kiffin, we've been talking the last couple of weeks about these coaches that need the signature wins. This could be his signature win.
This is huge for him.
At least from what I remember, this could be the biggest win he's ever gotten at Mississippi.
Yeah.
So, and of course, they jumped all the way up, I believe, to 4 in the AP poll after this.
That's crazy. To go from 13 to 4, wow.
Yep. A&M, Texas A&M, number 9, barely held on to beat Auburn, 16-10.
That was closer than I think all of us thought it would be.
Yep. And Hugh Freeze's Auburn team, again, they're not terrible, but they just can't win.
Yeah, they're just missing something.
Yeah, in the SEC, you're stuck. If you're a good but not a great team, you're just going to get pounded on.
Yeah. Week after week.
Yep. Illinois. See, now I'm trying to do the Cajun accent here. Now, Indiana, number 11 Indiana, going in to play Kirk Ferentz and that tough Iowa defense. And Iowa's defense did give the Hoosiers a hard time.
They made it close. 20-15 IU.
Yep. Now we'd skip this game. I don't even want to talk about that game. Iowa State pummels Arizona 39-14. I will never, ever bet against Iowa State this year ever again. That is my solemn promise. Another guy who needed a signature win who did not get it. James Franklin. You called it.
I told you.
You called it.
I told you. Oregon goes into Happy Valley in 2 overtimes and takes out number 6 Oregon takes out number 3 Penn State.
Yep, 30-24 in 2 overtimes. The whiteout. And I just had heard no buzz from Oregon. Now we got buzz. Now they've jumped all the way up, I believe, to number 2. They pushed Miami down.
Being idle.
Yeah. I love that. You don't play and
wrong.
you lose spots.
No. Oregon should have gone to 3. Miami should have stayed at 2. That's how it needs to be. You cannot lose.
It needs to be how you've always said it should be.
No rankings until after week 5.
Right.
Fuck the preseason bullshit.
This is the one we all got wrong.
How does Georgia lose at home to this Alabama team?
That's the key. It's this Alabama team. Because Kirby Smart has no history, no luck against Alabama. But you would say, well, that's Nick Saban.
Yeah, this is not a good Alabama team.
But now
somehow
Georgia's facing an uphill battle now in the SEC. As Alabama jumps, I believe, back into the top 10. Beating Georgia 24-21.
And that is not a top 10 Alabama team. I'm sorry.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. There's a long ways to go for Alabama, and they've already got 1 loss.
Yeah.
So, I don't care about BYU Colorado.
Nobody cares.
No. So we move on to this week's picks. Not a lot, kids. Only 6 games. Again, the schedule was shit this week.
Yeah. Not good.
Number 14, Iowa State on Saturday, October the 4th, against a pretty good Cincinnati team. I was shocked.
How is Cincinnati favored in this
That's what I'm saying. We might be getting fooled here. The 7 panelists with their picks in, we're all taking. I just said, I'm not picking against Iowa State again. They burned me twice this year. Never again. Because I picked against them in Ireland with Kansas State in week 0. Obviously last week, never again. But
looking at this one, it's going to be it should be a tight game. But I don't see how Cincinnati beats Iowa State.
I don't either. But boy, like you said, 1.5 in favor of Cincinnati. And I've seen some people thinking Cincinnati's going to
pull the upset.
Yeah.
Would it surprise me? No, because Iowa State's fucked me so many times.
Yeah, Iowa State usually goes so far and then they choke. Even in a Big 12 where if they had a solid, good team, they should win the whole thing.
Yeah.
The Big 12's not that strong this year. It's really not.
No. It should be a walk for them.
Yep. Number 9, Texas, has been shaky. Remember, kids, this was your preseason number 1.
Yeah. They are not all that. I flirted with taking Florida.
Yep, they're going down to the swamp. Going down to Gainesville to play the Gators.
Nick right now is on Gator Island. I was almost with him there. There's something about Texas that's not right. I don't know that Arch is all that.
This is another, we just said it, another reason why we should not be doing these rankings until right around now.
Yeah, because Arch Manning is not really looking like all of that.
No. Nope.
But it comes down to coaching for me.
I know you are the head cheerleader for one Billy Napier.
Ugh. Loser. Number 24, Virginia, sneaking in off of that big upset against the Seminoles.
Now, we didn't even pick this game because the point spread was too big last week. But last weekend, number 8 Florida State loses to Virginia 46-38 in 2 overtimes. So everybody you would think would be going, Virginia, wow, now they're ranked. They're number 24 going into play an unranked Louisville team.
Not so fast, my friends. Louisville is a better team. Virginia got lucky at home. This is their hangover game.
Yep, and the point spread reflects that when we set this up. Louisville favored by almost a full touchdown.
Yep.
But somehow the rankings have tripped up some of our panelists.
Yep. You, me, Sam, and Bill going with Louisville. Nick, Doug, and Aaron going with Virginia.
They're going with that ranked team. Sometimes that'll bite you in the ass.
Washington at Maryland.
Big Ten matchup.
Yep, almost Island Boy. Aaron and I are taking the Terps at home.
I like the fight I saw from Washington the last couple weeks. They're not the great Washington team that made it to the championship game a couple years ago, but I think they're good enough to win this on the road.
I like Washington, but when in doubt, I usually take the home team.
Yep, so like you said, you and Aaron with Maryland, Sam and Bill, Nick and Doug are with me with the Huskies. Now, this one...
This is intriguing.
You guys... you are taking UCF along with Nick and Doug and Aaron. You're just blinded by the fact that they beat up on Bill Belichick. What else has UCF done?
I don't like Kansas.
Kansas has got a better program over the last couple years.
They do, but they're nothing this year. I'm not impressed with them either.
Well, me and Sam and Bill are taking the Jayhawks.
And what did I just say the pick before? When in doubt, home team.
All right, the one true great college football game of the weekend, unfortunately, involves my beloved number 3 Miami Hurricanes on the road in possibly the most hostile environment they will face all year. Tallahassee, Florida, taking on a wounded, angry number 18 Florida State Seminoles squad.
Florida State showed some flaws. Miami has had a bye. They should be ready for this one. They should have watched that entire game against Virginia and know what to expect. But it is Mario Cristobal.
That was going to be my first point. This is about the time when Mario Cristobal shits the bed. And it's about time for Carson Beck to have a bad game. Now, my concern
He's
is
due for a signature win.
My concern with the Hurricanes isn't this game. Doug and I are taking the Seminoles. Dave, Sam, Bill, and Nick, and Aaron, God bless you all, I hope you're right, are taking the Hurricanes. Number 1, Mario Cristobal is due for a loss. I think Carson Beck is due for a bad game. My concern...
Cristobal is due for that signature win.
He's already got it. He beat Notre Dame.
It's too early.
I don't care about this game. With the setup the way things are now, I don't care about this game. My concern is how do you bounce back the rest of the year? You go 11-1, phenomenal. Couldn't be happier. Couldn't have expected more. You lose this game and you start to spiral, then I get pissed. Then it's time to start talking about a new head coach. You say...
You've been talking about a new head coach for the last couple seasons.
They never listen to me! Who do you think? Who have I been saying for the last decade plus should be the head coach of the Miami Hurricanes? Residing up in the Northeast.
That would be one Greg Schiano.
He is Hurricanes football. He personifies Hurricanes football. I don't care if Mario Cristobal played at the U. You ask Michael Irvin. You ask Ray Lewis. You ask all the greats. Devin Hester. They will say, yeah, Schiano. We want a true Miami guy. We want Schiano. Now, if Cristobal can rebound from this loss, come back, win the rest of the games, get a high seed ACC champion, one of the top 4 seeds, then I'm all in. You got to show it to me first. And this is going to be the one stumbling block in the schedule.
You never know.
And again, I hope you're right. I hope to God you're right. But
See,
then again,
I was paying attention to that game last week against Virginia, and as it's going on and Virginia's out to the lead, and I'm like, Kevin has got to be hating this.
Yep. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yep. Because it would have been better if both teams had come in undefeated. Florida State comes in a little arrogant, a little cocky. It's more difficult to play a team who thinks they're good, but they're arrogant. Their arrogance has been torn up, shredded. Now they're wounded. Now they're licking their chops.
Questioning themselves.
We'll see. But I'll say one last thing about this, and then of course we'll move on to baseball and NASCAR and all that other good stuff. I want them to lose a game. I want Miami to lose a game. And I would prefer it be this one. I want them to lose this game, get it out of your system, run the table. Again, go 11-1, win the ACC because you don't really have much of a challenge. Rematch with Florida State, we can win. A neutral field game, we can win. I'm not worried about that. Clemson's obviously out of the picture now.
Yep, you're just looking.
Yep. But I don't, if they go undefeated,
they're hosed in the playoffs.
That bothers me. I'd rather have them taste that blood in their mouth after getting punched really hard and get knocked down and see how they get up, how they react. You should know how this feels.
Yes.
Notre Dame's been a bitch for 2 weeks.
I know.
And now, here we go again. Marcus Freeman, greatest head coach ever to walk
on the
campus of Notre Dame.
All.
He needs to shut his mouth about Carr. He acts like Carr is the greatest quarterback ever to play at Notre Dame. He needs to stop with that stuff.
He needs to rein it in a little bit.
Ugh. But I'm not biased. Not at all.
No, not at all. Now, Carr is probably better than they've had in a while.
We will see. They've got, after Boise State, even though I think they will beat Boise State handily this weekend, again, we didn't pick it because the point spread was outside of my given parameters that Dave and Aaron bullied me in 2 years ago.
That's made it a lot more interesting, hasn't it?
A lot harder. Our percentages have plummeted.
That's fine.
You know the one person who's bitching about this is not me. Yes.
Bill can suck it.
But I will wait. Let's see if they beat Boise, but they barely beat Boise at home, then I will start to worry again about Notre Dame. If they handle their business and then they go through the rest of their cake schedule, you know they'll make the playoffs somehow, some way. They'll figure out a way to put Notre Dame in.
You know 2 lost teams get in.
Yeah.
No 3 lost teams should be in.
I agree. With the setup the way it is, a 2-loss Notre Dame team will make the playoffs. Guaranteed. Oh, and by the way, I did have one last little tidbit in college football that you'll love. news just broke literally about 3-4 hours ago. The Big Ten. And I don't pretend to be some kind of big shot financial genius. I'm just a humble accountant. But the Big Ten is in final talks to land a $2 billion private capital deal to basically finance all their sports, to help finance all their sports among all their schools. Yeah, I read the article.
This reeks horribly
I read the article.
Foreign investments.
I read the article, and it was as foggy as mud.
Is the money coming out of Riyadh?
They swear to God that there will not be anybody who has any more power in the Big Ten. They say this group will have equal power to each and every school individually and the league on its own.
Boy, this NIL bullshit has gotten so out of control.
Yeah, and the one thing...
This is fucking pathetic.
The one thing I took out of the article is that this will, if this goes through, this will stop. Put the brakes on any more talk of super conferences. Because now the Big Ten will be able to
write their own check for everybody.
Exist on their own and don't need help from anybody going forward.
I don't like it at all. Don't care for it one fucking bit.
And if we get any more details, any more clarity on it, of course, we will do our due diligence and bring it to you kids as soon as possible here on Sports Frenzy 2.0. All right, so you got your hour plus of football analysis, so now it's time to cover everything else in the world of sports. We're going to move NASCAR up a little bit because we're waiting on a final score between the Red Sox and the Yankees in their Game 2 tonight.
Because, you know, we want to make sure we get you the most up-to-date information we can here on Spotify, Good Pods, Pocket Cast, Apple, Overcast, CastBox, Amazon, Audible, and iHeart. Sports Frenzy, baby. And a UB-Tubi.
I love when you say UB-Tubi. I don't know why. It is so awesome, so immature, so silly. And
it's
of course,
the little things.
It's nuanced. It's nuances. Don't forget the Facebook page. I mentioned it earlier. Baseball is done, but you still get our NASCAR picks for the next month. You still get our football picks all the way through to the Super Bowl. So you want to see those every Thursday night.
And don't forget your Saturday morning hangover cure, the weekend edition for your favorite politically incorrect pop culture commentary.
Yep, this week, thank God, I put Dave in a bad place. I didn't mean to, because of course they just dropped out of the blue on Tuesday morning that Paramount Plus had The Naked Gun. And I've been waiting and waiting and waiting to watch The Naked Gun. And I text Dave and I go, dude, Naked Gun, can you watch it? And he's like, I'll see what I can do.
And I broached it to the family and we made it family movie night.
So we will have our review of the new version of The Naked Gun with Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. We will also review the new album from Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20. All Night Days.
And I have a book review from Preston and Child.
Very, very cool. We need that because I am gonna, outside of The Naked Gun and the album, let you down. I didn't watch any TV this week.
Oh!
Any. I did watch Peacemaker. I'll say that.
Okay.
But I only got about halfway through Tulsa King. I did not have the time with football, and then the Cubs ate up yesterday, most of today, so.
See, I didn't get to, well, we'll get into that when we get to the
weekend. That's the weekend edition.
We're going down the black rabbit hole.
Which I do want to watch, yes. All right. But basically what we're doing here is we're covering for the fact that our picks for this week are going to be really, really fucking boring.
Yeah, it's going to kind of suck ass.
But before we get to the picks for the Charlotte Roval, we have to recap last week's race at Kansas Speedway. Now, I've already told Dave the story about how my neighbor ruined it for me when I was trying to DVR it as the Bears game was on, and I was going to watch the last half of the race right after the Bears wrapped up, and he had to text me and say, "What'd you think about Chase Elliott winning the race?"
Thanks, jackass.
No, you can't say that. You guys are best friends now.
He has not been out to say hi to me in the last month.
That disappoints me because that's on him because he's always talking about how you are his new best friend. So, the two Daves, as I like to call you.
Yeah, he has not been out for the last month when
I'm going to give him holy hell tomorrow.
Tell him I'm disappointed.
He and I are going to end up watching the Cubs choke in Game 3 of the Wild Card Series.
Tell him I'm disappointed. He's letting me down.
I will.
I'm hurt. I am deeply hurt and troubled, Dave.
He might listen to this, so hopefully that your heartfelt plea will get through to him.
Shar, get his ass out there.
Now, I don't know if Shar listens, but...
You never know.
All right, so... Interesting race at Kansas Speedway. Very interesting race, I will say that. A lot of people, a lot of NASCAR people saying... shocked at how entertaining this race was. Now, I did end up watching it, even though it was spoiled for me. I did end up watching it because I heard of all the wild, weird crap that happened at the end.
That was a wild wreck, too.
Yep.
For Smith.
Yep, Zane Smith sideways in the first overtime. We start off, let's go to the beginning. Let's start off with the fact that Chase Briscoe got the pole. All the Penske cars went to the back. Blaney, Logano, Cindric. Now, Blaney had to go back because he wrecked his primary car and had to go to a backup. Logano and Cindric did the whole unapproved adjustments, which means their cars were shit, and they just want to take them into the garage and...
They did a wild swing on them.
Yep.
And said, fuck it, we'll go to the back and try and come from behind.
And then Shane Van Gisbergen, McDowell, all to the back. Now, on a track like this, normally you can make up the ground, especially again, like you said, with Logano and Cindric, they're going to take a wild swing and revamp the goddamn thing completely. And usually those are the cars that just jump up to the front right away.
Yeah, they're usually rockets.
Yep. However, while those cars did move up to the front, their strategy did not work. They did not end up finishing well at all. I believe Cindric actually got caught up in a wreck. As you mentioned, in the first overtime, Zane Smith riding sideways on the wall for, about a quarter lap?
I don't recall ever seeing that, where a car gets pushed up into the wall and rides the wall, the bottom of the car against the wall as he's on the driver's side door, hugging and going around for as long as he did.
Yeah, and eventually the tires caught, and he did a little bit of a couple flips.
2 barrel rolls and ended up on all 4 tires.
Yep, but he was fine. He was okay. But a very, very, at least from a TV standpoint, entertaining accident. I hate to say that. But I don't think he was ever in any danger.
No, it was one of those slow motion where he just the tires got caught on the safer barrier on the wall and just went up and around he went.
Yep.
Because you had the rear tire just propelling him along.
And then we had even more. If we needed more evidence of this, got even more evidence that Bubba Wallace is a douchebag. Because not only did he give his teammate Tyler Reddick shit towards the end of the race for not pushing him, whereas Tyler Reddick's going, dude, I need to win too.
Yeah, it's not all about you, Bubba.
Yeah, your winning doesn't help me because I'm not in the playoffs right now either with the cut line where it is. I'm facing elimination too. And by the way, thoughts and prayers to Tyler Reddick. By the way, my child is in the hospital with heart issues. so I probably shouldn't even be here today.
Exactly. I'm trying to make sure I can pay these hospital bills right now.
Yeah, so by the way, Tyler Reddick, my badass of the week for doing this. And I know we've heard this. I know earlier this year, Denny Hamlin is not his wife. I know. His significant other. They're not married. Having one of his children. He was racing, race or two, thinking about he might have to bail. But this is awful. When I think he's 4 months old, Rookie. His name is Rookie. And in the hospital with heart issues. And he's still out there for 23XI, a team that might not exist in a couple months.
Yeah.
So I don't need Bubba Wallace's bitching and pissing and moaning about Tyler Reddick not pushing him to the lead. And then, of course, at the very end, in the second overtime, his team owner, who happens to run for another team, Joe Gibbs Racing, that, of course, would be Denny Hamlin, nudges him just a little bit to the wall, and he throws another hissy fit. And
flips him off after the race.
Yep, and then in post-race interviews, I can't talk to him. When people ask, you going to talk to Denny about this? I can't talk to him.
Bubba is a little pain in the ass.
He is, and I'm sorry. I'm so far past giving him any kind of room in terms of forgiveness, or maybe if he did this, I could like him.
He's an entitled little bitch, just like Kyle Busch.
Yep.
So they have the same type of fucking temperament.
Yep. But meanwhile, while Denny Hamlin was getting into it with Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott took advantage. And a little beating and banging there, but Chase Elliott ends up winning. Now, Chase Elliott starting to show over the last month or two a little bit of life. He actually acts like he wants to win. So good for him.
Yeah, where was that all season?
I think we saw a little bit towards the end of the regular season. But yeah, the first 18 races, didn't seem like he gave one rip shit.
Yeah, they didn't care.
No. So Chase Elliott will move on to the round of 8. Now, Dave and I alluded to this about an hour ago. The decline and fall of the NASCAR empire is upon us. Oh. Now, we didn't have time last week to get in the Loudon ratings, but we'll catch up now as I have the Loudon ratings and the ratings for Kansas City. The Loudon ratings, 0.70, which translates to 1.29 million viewers.
Oof.
Kansas Speedway was a little better, 0.79, with 1.49 million viewers. All of these numbers way, way, way below what they want.
And guess what, kids? I didn't watch either one. Point of fact, I refused to tune in because of Lee Diffie and Steve Letarte. I refused to listen to those two morons.
And kids, bear in mind, this guy got me into NASCAR, along with my former father-in-law. So, if he's not watching, there's a problem with NASCAR. There is a big problem with NASCAR. If I'm watching this stuff more than he is, there's a problem. And I'm not even devoted. I'm not even devoted to it as much as I used to be.
I had been watching religiously since 1980.
Yep.
And this year, I could give two rip shits since NBC took over.
Yeah,
I can't listen to them. They're awful.
And I think that's got a lot to do with it. And we've talked about this, the fracturing of... You got to remember, NASCAR's got a lot of old school fans. And a lot of these people don't want to jump around from Fox, FS1, Prime, TNT, USA, Peacock.
Part of it is the streaming issue.
Right.
back in the day, in the 80s, you were jumping between CBS, ABC, ESPN, TNT, and TNN.
Yep, TNN, yep.
So, but they were all part of the general cable package.
So it wasn't that difficult.
It wasn't that difficult.
You had to scroll down 10 or 12
and
channels.
it was in the infancy, so everybody, of course, is going to really pay attention to where can I watch the race.
You didn't have to close down a complete app or program and jump to another one and sign in.
Right.
And
all that bullshit. You could
pay.
You could fucking run picture in picture with the football game and the race.
Well, you can do that now on YouTube TV. Even though I'm about done with them because, their stupid little carriage disputes are pissing me off.
Yeah, but when they're on Peacock or Prime,
and that's the thing.
You
is
can't
like you said,
run picture in picture.
It used to be all correct, and it used to be all like you said. Even though you mentioned a ton of different channels, they were all on the same package where all you do is scroll down and switch channels. You didn't have to shut down a program completely, pay for another streaming program or another app, and then get it on that. And then have to worry about doing it again later on in the year.
Exactly.
And paying for another streaming app. So there's multiple things, negative things working here.
Yeah. And there were some announcers back in the day that I wasn't fond of. But I did not despise any of them as much as I do Diffie and Letarte.
Yeah. And I will tell you this. I'm on board with you on both of those, but if somebody put a gun to my head, I'll take Letarte any day over Diffie. I can't stand that fuck.
God. Just
I'm Lee Diffie. Oh, this is the greatest race I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God! That was the move of the race. You're on lap 3.
It reminds me of when I was a child, and in the outback I was watching the mongoose and the wallaby going at it, and it was spectacular. But it's nothing like what we're seeing right now with Chase Elliott and Bubba Wallace.
Now, do either of them have enough gas to make it through to the end of the race?
Because in the outback, despite what they said in the Mad Max movies, there was not really any gas whatsoever, not even if there was a band of marauders where you could stop them and take some gas from them. Okay.
God.
I think we've made our point about Lee Diffie. But that was fun. And he's one of the few. You are much better at impressions than I am.
You do a better Diffie impression.
He's one of the few that I can do. He's one of the very, very few I can do. Because, it's like the nightmare. It just embeds itself in your frontal lobe and you can't get rid of it. So all this leads us to the next elimination race. Playoff race number 6. This will take us to the final 8 drivers. This is Sunday, October the 5th, 2025, the Bank of America 400 at the Charlotte Roval.
I so did not want to take SVG for this. I wanted to go different.
Yeah, and if you kids remember, I mentioned earlier, this was not going to be exciting beyond belief because despite the fact that Jen is way out in front in our competition, I can't afford to gamble and go from 2nd to 8th. Reddick is the only guy right now I'm looking at that could be the guy that does better than SVG. The reason why I say that, I still think SVG is the lock or the near lock to win the race. But keep in mind, he's not going to run for stage points.
No, he's not, and that's a problem.
Whereas Tyler Reddick might.
Reddick needs to get to the cut line.
But again,
be above it.
I'm worried about the distractions that he's got going on in his life.
Right.
And this is the safer bet. I'll take 40 points for a win without stage points versus the possibility with Reddick of maybe getting 45 or 50, but also maybe only getting 25 or 30 if he has an issue.
I will say I actually wanted to take Elliott for this race.
But he
won.
Yes. Exact same thinking I had. This was a race where I probably, if once Jen, who the leader has to put her pick in early, once she put in Van Gisbergen, if Elliott had not won at Kansas, I probably would have pulled the trigger and taken Elliott.
And there's other drivers that I thought
Because
about,
Elliott
but I need them elsewhere.
Because Elliott would have run a race where, no, he didn't need to win, but he would have maximized his stage points in order to lock himself into that final 8. Now he's already in. He doesn't have to.
It doesn't matter.
Right. Whereas Reddick needs to maximize points if he doesn't win the race. He's got to get as many points as possible.
Yeah.
So Reddick was the only other option that I saw, viable option.
There were one or two I thought about, but I need them down the line.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing.
This is kind of a throwaway.
Well, it's not throwaway because Van Gisbergen should do very well. But it opens up more options for the final 4 races.
Right. And Dega's the throwaway race.
Yeah, so basically got 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about Dega. You're right. Now we're down to 3 races where it really, you open up yourself to actually, what do you know about racing? What do you know about those 3 tracks? Who have you got left that you can throw in there at the right time in the right place?
Yeah.
So yes, kids.
There was some looking ahead and strategery in play.
Yep. Well, I can't complain. Even though he finished second at Kansas, Hamlin got me a shit ton of points.
Kicked my ass.
So even though I wanted him at the second to last race in Martinsville, I can't complain with how many points he got me. So I'm fine with that pick. It gets me up to second.
Bastard.
But, yeah, we're all pretty much going to go down together, in the words of the immortal Billy Joel. Good night, Saigon. Because 6 of the 8 of us are indeed taking the road course dominant specialist, Shane Van Gisbergen.
I flirted with Sam's pick, A.J. Allmendinger.
And then Doug takes Christopher Bell because,
who
remember,
I would have taken if I wouldn't have taken him earlier.
And remember, Doug couldn't take SVG because he took him a couple weeks ago where you and I went, what the fuck is he doing? And he still ended up getting more points than us.
Yeah, how? Boggles my mind.
Yeah, that was the disaster. That was a disaster at Bristol where we all took Kyle Larson. And he still, even though he took Van Gisbergen and we scoffed, he ended up with more points than us. So, yeah, so Doug takes Christopher Bell, Sam takes the Dinger.
These playoffs, Larson is just...
He's still in it, though.
I know, I don't know how.
Kev, Dave, Bill, Jen, Nick, and Aaron all taking SVJ. It would have been interesting if we didn't have the Xfinity playoffs going on right now. If Connor Zilic could have thrown his name in the hat here, that would have made things very interesting.
Yeah. Collarbone boy.
You don't have to pick a chase or a playoff driver. You can pick whoever you want, even a part-time driver. So if Zilic would have entered into this, that could have made things really interesting.
That it could have.
All right, kids, we're moving on.
Zilic next year going full-time Cup.
That's going to make it interesting.
You
taking SVG,
fun.
you taking Zilic at the road courses. Dave just showed me some awful, awful baseball news, but of course that means we're moving on to baseball. Because, of course, the playoffs are now in full swing. The wild card
week.
We are 2 games in, with the exception of the Dodgers and the Reds, who are just starting up right now.
Bottom of the first, and Cincinnati is up 2-0.
A little bit of a shocker there. I thought I should have known better with Terry Francona. He would not let the Reds lay down and die. But yeah, the Dodgers pummeled the Reds last night. So I thought, oh boy.
It was the long ball game.
Yep. But what we have for you right now We have the Red Sox and the Yankees at 1-1. We have the Tigers and the Guardians at 1-1. And unfortunately, we have the Cubs and the Padres at 1 game apiece. So we could possibly, depending on the Reds, get a full slate of elimination games Thursday for you kids. That will be fun.
Would be freaking phenomenal.
Then, of course, we'll have Thursday night football as well. Might be one of the few rare times, given how beat up the 49ers are, that I would watch baseball over the
football.
NFL.
Yeah.
Now, we're not going to get into a lot of detail here about what happened in these games. Suffice it to say, the Cubs' offense is abysmal right now. I mean, they have scored 3 runs in 2 games. If it wasn't for the back-to-back home runs on Tuesday from Suzuki and Carson Kelly, they'd be lost. Because they're not... Kyle Tucker can suck my little tiny, small to mediocre dick. I would have rather had Isaac Paredes at third base than have this idiot.
He's been useless.
He's hurt. He's not 100%.
Then why is he fucking out there?
He puts up the same fucking numbers as Ian Happ, and we all know how much I love Ian Happ, by the way, who has sucked in these first 2 games.
And then PCA.
He's fallen off the table.
He is completely lost at the plate. He has no clue what he's doing right now.
No, a couple weeks ago, you and I documented how in the first half, Suzuki and PCA carried the Cubs and how they disappeared in the second half. But Suzuki, the last week of the regular season, started amping it back up again.
Yep.
And he looks fine. But yeah, PCA still looks lost. And I'll tell you who, God bless him, he finished second in the National League in batting. I watched that game today. Every ball he hit was a nasty, hard... He hit one shot right up the middle, hit off the goddamn pitcher's thigh, went right to the first baseman. Nico goddamn Horner. How could the Cubs have ever considered trading him? He's a god. He actually, and I'm watching him on the one side, and then I'm watching Luis Arias on the other. These are the old school guys who know how to hit the ball, spray it all over the place.
Yes. They hit for average. They hit to get on base.
Beautiful to watch the two of them. Beautiful to watch the two of them.
How do you score? Get them on, get them over, get them in.
Arias and Horner could arguably be the 2 best pure hitters in the game of baseball right now. And I get to watch both of them at least for one more game.
Yeah.
And even when they make outs, it's not easy for the opponent.
No, they're hard hit balls.
Yes. But yeah, and Craig Counsell, the Cubs manager, for all the good stuff he did in Game 1, managing the bullpen the way he did, I don't quite understand what he was doing today, where he decided to do the bullpen start with Kittredge, and then bring Imanaga in, and
because they're so worried because Imanaga has a higher ERA in the first inning, and they didn't want to get behind. So what do? You bring in Kittredge, who puts them behind right off the bat.
Yep.
So that fucking backfired.
Yep. So, and I thought the same thing. I thought I was doing in my head. I heard the little analytic geek voice going, "Well, our research shows that over the last month and a half, Imanaga cannot perform well in the first inning, but he's stellar after that. So we should not start him in the first inning. We should put him in the second inning."
But it doesn't matter because it's still his first inning. That logic is fucked. It makes 0 sense.
Yeah, I know. I get it. You get it. Smart, sane people get it, but baseball analytics people aren't smart, and they're not sane as much as they love to think they're the smartest people on the face of God's green earth.
What do you say about statistics and numbers? You can make them say whatever the fuck you want them to.
Yep. So, as we mentioned, We are 1-1 in all of these series right now with the Dodgers and the Reds pending. Let us recap the regular season for you. Of course, the Cubs finished 92-70. Great record. I would have taken that at the beginning of the season without qualification. Unfortunately, it wasn't good enough. Second place, 5 games behind Milwaukee,
who wound up with the best record in all of baseball.
And I'm telling you, I'm not scared of Milwaukee. If the Cubs get by San Diego, bring on the Brewers. Now, I think the Cubs will get obliterated by the winner of the Phillies-Dodgers, but I'll take that. If you told me at the beginning of the season you're going to be 92-70 and you're going to get to the NLCS, I'd say I'll take it. Thank you. Thank you.
But the Brewers have the Cubs number.
But they don't scare me.
But they're solid. They're good. They play fundamental ball.
We know what's going to happen in Milwaukee. That's Wrigley North.
Yeah.
So the Cubs fans will figure out a way
to flood the stadium.
Oh, by the way,
if they can get through the traffic jam that they're going to cause getting up there.
And I know we got to get to the White Sox, but can I just rant for 1 minute about today's game? Because, the Cubs have their share of celebrity fans. And so they were showing them during the...
Oh, God.
Am I a Cubs fan?
You are a Cubs fan.
I've been a Cubs fan since the mid-'70s. Okay? I know I'm very cynical and I'm very pessimistic, but I'm still a die-hard Cubs fan. I believe that Bill Murray is a die-hard Cubs fan.
Absolutely.
I believe that John Cusack is a die-hard Cubs fan. Eddie fucking Vedder is not a Cubs fan! And then to see him today, seeing the 7th inning stretch, wearing a 23 jersey, fuck him! He is not a Cubs fan. He switches. He changes. He's from Seattle. They have the Vedder Cup. The Vedder Cup does not involve the fucking Cubs.
No,
it's the Mariners and the Padres, I believe. Eddie Vedder's a fucking phony. He's not a Cubs fan. And I'm tired of him acting like he's a diehard Cubs fan. He's not. He's a sham. He's a phony, and I don't want to see him at Wrigley ever again. Never. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How about those White Sox?
They won the final game of the season.
They improved 19 games.
They did. 60-102. Third straight 100-loss season. Fuck you very much, Jerry Reinsdorf.
5th place, 28 games behind. The Cleveland Guardians, who came from behind, set a record.
Did the Tigers shit the bed down the stretch or what?
Cleveland wins the American League Central with the largest division comeback ever. 15 and a half games. 15 and a half games. Can I give you a little bit of stats?
Yes, you can.
Because one of the few things that brought me joy this past week, and God knows not many things do, doing this podcast with my best friend, and you people does. But then you go, well, what about the rest? The rest of your life must be a wasteland. I'm like, yes, but occasionally there is an oasis. The Mets missing the postseason with a total, with payroll and luxury tax penalties. The Mets missed the postseason, paying $428 million. Can I please point out the fact? Now that's only number 2 in Major League Baseball, of course, behind the Dodgers. Payrolls number 21, 23, and 25 all made the postseason, and combined, all 3 of those payrolls didn't even come close to $428 million. Those, of course, were the Brewers, the Reds, and the Guardians. Now, I heard somebody with some twisted logic, you'll love this, say this is bad for baseball, that the Mets did not make the playoffs.
Why is it bad for baseball?
Because now you're never going to be able to push forward salary cap, salary floor, because now, oh, look, 3 of the bottom feeders made it, and the number 2 payroll team didn't. So there's parity here.
There's
equality here.
There's not enough.
This is Rob Manfred, of course.
Yeah.
Who would say this?
The fucking Mets are a shitty run organization.
And they're keeping their manager. The first thing I would have done
was
is
fire
the manager. And I put the GM on notice and say, you're next if you don't fix this.
Yeah, you cannot spend that money and underperform that badly.
By the way, speaking of managerial openings, we have 8 in Major League Baseball right now. Now, from earlier in the year, we have the Nationals because they fired Dave Martinez. The Orioles. Now, the Angels, of course, Ron Washington had health issues. Rockies, we knew. Yeah, the Rockies. Now, the more recent developments here over the last few days, shocking in some cases. Texas parts ways with Bruce Bochy, just 2 years removed from him winning their first ever World Series.
Yep, they have offered him an advisory role in the front office.
And the Giants, the San Francisco Giants, have quashed rumors that they were going to try to bring him back after firing Bob Melvin.
Yep. The Twins fired Rocco Baldelli.
Shock. No shock.
But, again, you fire-sailed the team.
Yeah, what do you expect them to do with that?
They were injury bit early. They were fairly competitive. They had no chance this year.
Yeah.
And then you get rid of everybody. It was one of those seasons where there's nothing he could have done.
And then, this is not a firing, but in Atlanta, Brian Snitker decides he's going to hang it up after 10 years. First year ever under his watch that they didn't make the playoffs, and he's out. Now, again, this is more him saying, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. But again, another injury bit team.
Yep. So Texas, Atlanta, Minnesota, San Francisco, Washington, Baltimore, the LA Angels, and the Colorado Rockies. 8 openings. Wow, that's a lot. That is a lot.
Good luck filling those. A lot of bench coaches have an opportunity.
Now, we mentioned that the White Sox finished 60-102. Unfortunately for the White Sox, the Rockies were terrible, but not terrible enough.
Bad enough. 43-119.
Falling 2 games short of tying the White Sox for the worst record ever.
So close.
Congratulations to Cal Raleigh. Again, I think he should be the hands-down AL MVP, but of course, they're going to give it to Aaron Judge because of all the analytics geeks. Even though Cal Raleigh has more homers and RBIs, those numbers somehow don't matter when it comes to wins above replacement on a Thursday when the weather's below 45 degrees. Aaron Judge is the best. He's got to win the MVP for that.
No.
You want to do the 300 hitters?
Yes, let's wrap on the 300 chase this year. We wound up with 7 batters over 300. Judge, of course, led with 331, went up from 325 last week. And then Mr. Diaz coming in at 7 with 300 even.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I was shocked that Nico couldn't get in there.
Nico, 297,
Yep.
leading the 290 crowd. We had 3 guys at 295, 2 at 292, 2 at 290. So you had 8 in the 290s. That's it.
All right, so just to show you kids a little bit of history,
Now, we did do the deep dive months ago.
Right. Just to reiterate, so now officially, as your Uncle Dave just told you, 7 in the books, 7 300 or more hitters. Last year, the exact same number. We had 7 last year. In 2023, there were 9. In 2022, there were 11. So we are seeing a gradual decline.
Yep.
Finally, in baseball, and of course, next week we will have a much more comprehensive wrap-up of what's going on in the playoffs. Oh, Dave's going to love this, because Dave loves when stuff is on streaming. Opening day game between the New York Yankees and the San Francisco Giants in 2026 has now been announced. Will stream exclusively on Netflix.
Yay.
And again, baseball has got a lot of old school fans, and you're just going to piss them off even more with this kind of stuff.
Baseball is doing nothing to entice the younger generation.
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Overpriced tickets, you can't take your kids to a game, you can't take the grandkids. You can't grow your game
You
the
can
way
pretty
it's
much say that
now.
about any sport.
Oh,
right
yeah. Everything is fucked.
And what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago, we mentioned when Adam Silver of the NBA, when he was asked about all these streaming packages now are going up because of the new deals you made. Oh, they can watch the highlights on YouTube.
Fuck you.
Yeah, show some more disdain for your core audience, Adam.
Yeah,
You
talk
fucking
about prices
alien-looking
going up.
motherfucker.
Fucking United Center announced parking for Blackhawks and Bulls games up to $50 to park now.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Absolute stupidity.
All right, let's start wrapping this puppy up here. Little bit of basketball. Both of these are probably going to piss Dave off, so let's go for it. Number one, the Celtics continue to disintegrate, as now they have lost, even though he's old, he still plays very well. And this is coming from somebody who hates the NBA with the red-hot, fiery passion of 1,000 Suns. But Al Horford, always liked Al Horford. Now he's moving on to, guess where, Dave? The Golden State Warriors. As I think they're gearing up for their one last run.
Yeah.
Ugh. And then, of course, I found this very, very funny. They had this media thing this week with the NBA, even though the regular season's still 3 weeks away. But, all the big stars were there, so you could ask them questions about their future and their team.
Bullshit.
Somebody actually had the guts, and I like it, to ask LeBron, hey, LeBron, are you trying to stick around in the NBA long enough so you can play with your other son, your 18-year-old son, Bryce? And LeBron's, no, I'm not. We're on different timelines. Bullshit. I think the reporter found something here.
Yeah.
He found a little hot button topic here.
Uh-huh.
And of course, he's going to force the Lakers to draft Bryce James. And so the three of them can all play together. Bronny and Bryce and LeBron.
Just stop manufacturing this bullshit.
How about we move on from LeBron?
Please. Please, please, please.
Then we have the WNBA.
Whoo!
Yeah, it's getting a little spicy. Now, on the court, the Indiana Fever lost in Game 5 to the Las Vegas Aces. So your championship will be the Phoenix Mercury versus the Aces. You do have the USA Network gets an 11-year deal, kind of through their previously announced media contract with NBC Universal. The USA Network will now carry 50-plus games a year. for the WNBA through 2036. But that's not the fun stuff. We love it when people are bitching and pissing and arguing and going back and forth.
And you know, enough is enough for the coaches and the players in the WNBA. The officiating has been shit. They've complained about it. They get fined. They say, well, yeah, I kind of have to agree. You get fined. You can't disagree on anything. I love the players and the coaches now going after their commissioner.
Yeah, this all came to a head last week with the Minnesota Lynx. And their star player, Nafisha Collier, got seriously hurt. I believe they came out today and said she tore ligaments in her ankle.
And fractured her lower leg.
Because somebody came in low on her. And this was not...
No call.
Yeah, this was not the final game, but the penultimate game of the series. And they end up losing the series. Obviously, I think it was to the Mercury.
Yeah.
And their head coach went ballistic. She was on the court yelling and screaming. And so what this led to was... Now, I will... I don't watch this stuff anymore. I backed off on it. I had a problem. I admitted my problem. And I fixed my problem. But the first half of the season I did watch, as you know.
Yep.
And one of the things that the commentator for the Indiana Fever would say early in the season was she would say, and again, women doing WNBA, I'm all good with it. Just don't want them doing football. She was saying very, very well, pointing out astutely, there is supposed to be a rule in this league that says you cannot prohibit movement. Which basically means you can't put two hands on a player, you
right.
can't mug a player, and this seems to be the problem with the officiating, is the restriction of movement issue, where it's basically turning into a street fight in every game.
Yeah, they have let so much physical play go on, it's absolutely pathetic. Players are getting beat to hell, injured, and the officials do not take control of the game.
No. So
they let it completely get out of hand.
This led to a recent one-on-one conversation between Nafisha Collier, who just got injured for the Lynx, who happens to be second in command of the WNBA Players Union,
yes,
and the commissioner, Kathy Engelbert. When Nafisha Collier, and this is paraphrased, but I'm going to get pretty close here, Nafisha Collier asked her, first, what do you plan to do about fixing the officiating issues we've got in the league? The commissioner said, well, only losing teams really complain about the officiating.
No, I believe every team has complained.
Then it gets worse. So then Nafisha Collier basically says, well, you've got star players like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers. What are you going to do to protect them from this rough style of play? Commissioner Kathy Engelbert said they should be thankful, especially Caitlin Clark, that we've given them a platform where they can make all this money off the court. So I don't see any issues with having to cater to them.
Yeah, and it was also in conjunction with the low pay everybody's getting.
Yes. So yeah, we're going to get into the labor strife here at some point.
But the big piece is the officiating is awful. Engelbert has no fucking clue what she's doing as commissioner. She's as bad as Rob Manfred in the Major League Baseball.
And
if not worse.
I'm telling you, I heard this earlier today. Again, we're taping on October the 1st. From a reputable source. Again, I'm not pulling a quote from Joe Blow 79 on X. Reputable sports journalism source this morning. It has not come to pass yet. But this person said, expect the pressure from the NBA, because of course the NBA subsidizes the WNBA. So whether you like it or not, The NBA has power over the WNBA because they pay their bills.
Yeah. Otherwise, they wouldn't exist.
The pressure from the WNBA on the WNBA commissioner, from the NBA, other sources, I fully expected to get an ESPN update by tonight saying that Kathy Engelbert had resigned as commissioner. That's what I heard.
If not fired.
But that has not come through yet. So, my source let me down, but would it shock me if it happens in the next day or two? Absolutely not.
No, not at all. So.
All right. Just a couple more things to discuss here. We're going to wrap things up. And then, of course, you will have to listen to the weekend edition. Your favorite Saturday morning hangover cure. Politically incorrect pop culture commentary like only your Uncle Dave and I can bring it to you. The Ryder Cup. Boy, this is the last big topic. The Ryder Cup.
Fuck the U.S. players. These morons, Ryder Cup in, Ryder Cup out, do not perform over the course of the first 3 days. They get so far behind that, we had a great day, we mounted a phenomenal comeback. You shouldn't have had to. Where was all that performance leading up to the final day?
Yeah, they wasted my time.
You guys suck in this regard. It's like watching the U.S. men's national soccer team shit the bed in every competition.
Yeah. Yeah, I was the idiot, one of the idiots who wasted his time on Friday and Saturday watching that crap and watching them melt down hole after hole after hole after hole. And then you have to deal with the fan behavior. Now, here's the thing with the fan behavior. Of course, we're getting slammed now as a country. How rude we were to the Europeans. Here's the problem, and I blame the media. The media, for the entire build-up, the weeks leading up to this, were basically firing us up and telling us our crowds are going to be really into it. The people there are really going to be going at it and really going for the USA.
Yeah, the media drove the stupidity of all the fans in New York. And the New York fans don't need any help being assholes.
Very true. Very true. Now, I will admit, as you kids all well know, I am not a snowflake. So I have a problem with us apologizing. And any shit you can give to Rory McIlroy, I'm fine with. Now, supposedly now we're seeing the snowflakes going way overboard, saying we're again a misogynist scumbag society because somebody said something bad to his wife. Probably said, "Hey, if you and Rory and Amanda Balionis hooked up on a three-way yet?" By the way, you know she's doing sideline work for the NFL now.
Yeah, go figure.
But, and I get it, it's bad, it's a bad look, but at the same time, what are you going to do? You're going to give people alcohol at 9 in the morning. You know, you're going to try to get them fired up to root for something involving your country.
Golf etiquette has gone out the window.
Yes. Well, we all know that.
It's non-existent.
How many times on this podcast have I called out the idiots screaming Baba Booey,
get in the hole,
and mashed potatoes? I mean, this was a different level, but again, I think the media pushed it to a different level.
Yeah. And you can trash talk the players, but don't fucking say anything as they're getting ready to hit the damn ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And it's amazing to me how, and again, I will say it one last time, I blame the media because I love to blame the media because usually they're the ones that are the problem. When we have a tournament here, whether it's the U.S. Open, the Masters, whatever it might be, the Waste Management Open in Phoenix, one of the bigger tournaments on American soil, the fans usually Yeah, they'll yell the stupid shit like that, but it won't be directed at anybody. They'll root for Rory McIlroy just as much as they'll root for Bryson DeChambeau or Brooks Koepka or Justin Rose or whoever. But this was different because they made it out as it is. They pumped it up.
It's
US,
us versus them.
Yes. And that's where the problem started. Is you're going to do that, this is what you're going to get.
The consequences.
This is what you're going to get. So that, unfortunately, is a very nasty, ugly bow that we have put on the 2025 PGA Tour season. And as I mentioned, for the second week in a row, I cannot, for the life of me, find any specific dumbasses for sports.
I'll put it on the U.S. men's Ryder Cup team for shitting the bed on the opening days.
I can live with that. Or the fans' behavior as well.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this could be an all-time rarity. No moments of silence. So that leaves us with last call, where I will inevitably piss off your Uncle Dave, because I am going to tear into a Chicago Bears legend.
If it's deserved, it's deserved.
Shame, shame, shame on Charles Peanut Tillman for the way he walked away from the FBI because he doesn't like the way we're handling illegal immigration.
Oh, Peanut. You took an oath.
We're going to get to that because that's another problem I have with him. Now, I have had nothing up to this moment, up to the moment where this story broke, nothing but respect for him.
I hadn't heard this story.
Yes, Charles Peanut Tillman has left the FBI. He came in during the first Trump administration. But now all of a sudden he has a problem with ICE and the illegal immigration crackdown. He decides to do an interview with one of the biggest fucking racists in the world, Ryan Clark of ESPN.
Oh, Peanut, why did you pick him?
And then, going back to what you just mentioned a minute ago, a direct quote. Now, we've seen movies, and again, this is Hollywood. We've seen movies where it's noble to go against an order if you feel it's wrong, or you feel your commander's off his rocker, which of course is not right. In the military, you better damn well follow your orders. And I always thought that the same applies to the FBI, the CIA. But Peanut says in his interview with Ryan Clark, you have the ability to refuse an order. I have a problem with that. I really have a problem with that. I will just say this. And I said that we weren't going to get into politics. Illegal immigration. Nobody is looking to kick somebody out of this country who is here legally, who did it the right way. We're trying to ease the burden on the taxpayers by getting rid of the people who snuck in across the border who are not supposed to be here. They are here illegally. I don't understand what the problem is with this.
The problem isn't with that. It's the people who are here legally that are being taken up in all of this.
Well, you and I can agree to disagree on that. I think that number is minuscule compared to what they're doing in terms of getting the illegal ones out. Because I'm tired of paying for it. I don't want to pay for it anymore.
No, neither do I. But at the same time, I've got some issues with the way some things are being done and handled. When you've got people who have their documentation that they're here legally and they're still held for weeks.
That should not happen. That should not happen.
And unfortunately, it is.
And this is a philosophical argument where, yeah, we could take this in a whole other place, a whole other area.
But
where
illegals should be held accountable. I will agree with that.
But I am just very disappointed in Peanut Tillman for bailing on the FBI because I thought he was one of the good ones. I really did. I thought he was going to be one of the people that would make a difference. And by bailing on this, I don't think he's making a difference. I think he's becoming yet another whiny snowflake.
If you wanted to make a difference, then you could try and do something from within.
Yes! I was thinking the exact same thing.
If you have your integrity, stand up for it and be the change there.
Yeah, don't just bail and say, I don't like what's going on.
Don't take the easy way out.
Yes, and then run to the media, run to the worst possible people in the media you can, and start bitching and pissing and whining about it.
It's the wrong way to deal with this.
That's my last call. I think I irritated your Uncle Dave, but didn't necessarily piss him off.
No.
So I'll try to do better next week.
We have...
You're a little bit more liberal than I am. I don't think I'm conservative, but you and I are both in the middle of the road, but you lean a little bit more left than I do.
I'm starting to because there's too much going to the far right, and I'm seeing things that I have serious issues with. The way some things are being done. I agree with what needs to be done, but the methods, having a minor in history and seeing how some things have happened in the past, I'm seeing patterns that I don't like. There's better ways to be able to do things.
I don't think our system allows for better ways to do things. I think it's noble you say that. I think it's...
No, it's because we have fucktards on both sides who cannot do the right thing for the country in the proper way. And you have morons running everything.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think as I get older, but day by day, I get more cynical about it. And I say, they have screwed this up so badly.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay more... There's things that have to be done. Some of these changes that are coming down need to be done. I don't like all the methods being used to get to there.
Okay.
I agree with the final things that they're trying to accomplish, but not the methods.
And I'm going to tell you, there's no such thing as a perfect world. So sometimes bad things are going to happen. It doesn't matter if it's a Republican regime, a Democratic regime.
Oh, I absolutely hated everything that happened under Biden.
Yeah, and I know.
And
would it be wonderful if we had a perfect world? Absolutely. Yeah. We'd all want that. It's never going to happen. There are going to be bad things that happen. And I would prefer some bad methodology be used to get us to the proper end than some of the things, like you said, that happened under Biden. Biden caused all of this problem specifically we're talking about here because he had open borders, and if it wasn't for him doing that, we wouldn't be doing this ICE bullshit right now. And you're right. There are some people getting caught up in this that should not be. But to clean it all up, it's never going to be perfect. And I'm sorry. That goes with a lot of different things. Like I said, we could get into philosophical discussions about this with capital punishment. You know.
And there we go. But this is sports, and we're off fucking topic.
Yeah, but again, I just really disappointed in Peanut on this. Really.
Yeah, that's disappointing. To bail like that.
Yeah.
Then
again, you could do some reading, do some research on it, and then you can come back and tell me you think I was completely wrong about this. But I read this, and I read the article, very disappointed in him. Very disappointed. And it hurts because it was somebody I always respected and admired, not only as a football player, but as a person.
Everything that he had stood for.
And this just did not sound like the Peanut that I knew. Yep. But that's going to do it for Sports Frenzy 2.0. Don't forget to check out the weekend edition this Saturday morning, October the 4th. It's going to be fun. till Daddy takes the beaver away. Yes, Naked Gun review. Rob Thomas. We'll catch up on our streaming. All that good stuff. And we'll figure out what we're going to wake you up with. Will it be a beer can? Will it be a rooster? Will it be some bacon frying?
You will have to tune in to find out.
But until then, that's your Uncle Dave, the Conquistador Dave Heights.
That's your Uncle Kev, the Maestro, Kevin Crane.
And until we do this all again on the sports front in 7 days, say goodnight to the kids, Dave.
Good night to the kids, Dave.